folks, it's Mira Dessy, the Ingredient Guru, and I am here to share more tips about having a prepared pantry, especially right now as we are going through all of these challenges where things may not be available at the grocery store or where they may be in short supply. I wanted to talk about something that I believe is really important to have in any pantry, and that is beans. Beans are a great choice for your pantry because they are a great source of amino acids. They have a lot of nutrients in them. They are high in fiber, and they're a great protein choice. So for people who are not perhaps used to eating a lot of beans, I wanted to talk about a couple different ways that we can add them to the diet. Obviously, we can buy canned beans. If we're buying canned beans, the goal is to buy beans that really don't have anything in them other than beans, because sometimes we can get beans that have a lot of processed things in them, other ingredients maybe that we don't want to eat. So we're looking for the cleanest beans that we can get. Beans that are cooked in the can already at the grocery store tend to be a little bit softer. If you have beans that you've rehydrated and cooked yourself, those tend to be a little bit firmer depending on how much you cook them. Obviously, it is possible to cook them into mush, but I don't generally recommend that. If you're going to cook your beans at home, it is very important that you soak them first. And I generally do that in my crock pot. What I do is I tend to cook, if I'm going to rehydrate beans, I take a pound at a time, put it in the crock pot, cover it with water, turn it on, and then I leave it on low overnight. When I come down in the morning, I drain them and then rinse them. And then I take out the amount of beans that I want for whatever recipe it is I'm going to make for the day. And I take the others and put them in containers in my freezer, because that way it's already cooked and they're ready to go. So 1 pound of beans generally gets divided into, say, 3 or 4 containers, depending on what I think I'm going to do with them. One of the other things that's really important with beans is to get a variety of beans. You know, different beans have a little bit of a different flavor, different textures. They can be used for different things. And so by having a variety of beans in your diet, you're not as likely to get as bored. The other thing that's really important is to make sure, you know, we talked about this in the very first video, planning. What are you going to make? What are you going to do with them? Because if you think all you're going to do is make chili, at a certain point, your family's going to get tired of chili, I promise. So you want to look at what you're doing and how often you're going to have them. So, you know, maybe you are going to have chili one night. Maybe another night you're going to make a bean soup or some kind of a stew, or you're going to add them to other things. And as a matter of fact, I have a great recipe for a Tuscan lentil stew. I'll put that down below. So just having recipes, having a plan. Sometimes I get a question, how often do I think we should eat beans? And so my recommendation generally is, you know, 2 to 3 times a week is pretty reasonable. You can certainly have them more than that if you want to, but that is pretty reasonable. There's a wide variety of recipes out there, so it's easy to incorporate that. It's a great way to save money. It's also a great way to, if you're short on meat, you don't have a lot in your freezer, or you didn't find any at the grocery store, or you're trying to stretch what you have, making a meal with beans is a good way to incorporate that, so that we're still getting that protein and we're stretching what we have in the pantry. Because the goal at this point is to make sure that we're managing what's in our pantry in a way that allows us to make it through until the next time that we go to the grocery store or get delivery or whatever, and hopefully they have what we're looking for. There's a couple of other things that I wanted to share about beans. One is that they are great for sprouting. And one of my favorite things to do is to sprout. The combination that I personally like the best is lentils, adzuki beans, and mung beans. And I do 1/3 of each and sprout them. In the summer in Texas, it takes like 2 days. Doesn't take very long. But sprouted beans are great. There's a couple of things that happen. When we soak beans, there's a coating on them called phytic acid, and it protects them until it's time for them to grow, to sprout. And that phytic acid coating actually inhibits our body's ability to absorb nutrients. And so when we soak our beans, it removes the phytic acid coating, so we're actually getting more nutrition from them. when we sprout beans, we get a little nutritional bump. You know, if you think about starting from a little seed that turns into something much bigger, there's this bump that happens. And so that sprout has a little bit more nutrient density, which is great. And sprouts are good as a snack. They're great in a salad. You can throw them into a stir fry or a saute of some kind. You can even take a small handful of sprouts and throw them into a smoothie. You will never know they are there. You know, depending on what the combination of your smoothie is, but most of the time they sort of melt right in there and you're getting a little extra nutritional bump. So that's a great choice and another good way to add them in. And then one of the other things that I really like to do with sprouts is to just have them as a snack because they're a little bit crunchy and they're kind of delicious. I do like them on top of a salad, but just including beans into your diet a number of different ways is a great way to stretch your pantry and to make sure that you're nourishing your family. I'm going to share some recipes with you for you know, things that I have for beans. If there's something in particular that you want to know, if you have a question that you want me to answer for you about how to manage your pantry or recipes that you need or how to modify recipes if you weren't able to find something at the grocery store, I'd like to encourage you to leave a message down below. Please tag me. If you don't put my name, you know, at Mira Dessy, N-E on it, I won't see it. And I'm here to help you guys learn how to get through what's happening right now so that you can nourish your family and make sure that we're all being supported and eating healthy and doing okay. So leave your questions. And then also, like I said, if you need modifications on something, let me know. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. I'm trying to keep these short so it doesn't take up an enormous amount of your time. If there's interest in doing a longer version, please let me know. You can either message me, leave me a message or whatever. I'm looking at the idea of possibly doing some longer videos. So I will keep you posted on that. And in the meantime, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you guys again very soon. Take care. Bye. Oh, wait a minute. So Lisa says, do you just soak them until they sprout? That's a great question. Yes. So depending on where you live, how long they take to sprout takes a little bit longer. So in Texas, in the summer, 2 days, 3 days max. More northern climates where it's a little more temperate, not as hot, it could take a little bit longer. I have an article on my blog about how to sprout beans, and so I will link that down below. It does have pictures, so you can also see what I'm talking about, what we're looking for. So I'll put that in there. And any other questions, actually? Does anybody else have a question? No? Looks like we're good. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me, folks, and I hope you have a great evening, and I will talk with you again soon. Take care. Bye.